All right, tennis students, here we are taking a look at our singles terminology when we're talking about where we're hitting from, our hitting positions, and where we're hitting to, which is our hitting target zones. So this is going to be quick and easy for you to understand as we're going to start talking about our target hitting zones when we're hitting on our opponent's court. So I made this real quick out of PowerPoint just to help you visualize it in advance. We want to talk about first creating an imaginary singles alley, the same width as the doubles alley, but moving it inside the court so that we can create a safe space hitting zone. First, in between those singles alleys, our first zone is called the friend zone. This is where we only hit when we're not playing competitive. We only aim for this really when we want another friend to be able to get the ball and play with us, someone who's learning tennis. So the friend zone is actually not where you want to be when you're playing competitive play. Then we have the rally zone, our number 2 zone, and this is when we want to keep the ball going. We have number 3, a deep zone. This is where we start making our opponents make errors by hitting into this zone, pushing them deep in the court. We have number 4, our deep cross court zones on the deuce and ad side. We have them on both sides. And this is where we really start making our opponent make mistakes, and we can hit this when we're up in an aggressive position. And when we're up even farther in an aggressive position approaching, we can hit really sharp wide court shots that either hit outright winners or set us up for easier shots. And then we have number 6, the zone called the touch zone. The touch zone takes a lot of touch to be able to hit, either, to hit intentionally, either with drop shots or with drop volleys or sharp volley angles in singles. So these will make more sense when we talk about when you're over here on the right side and you're in your hitting positions. The first hitting position we'll talk about is the defensive position. From the defensive position, we're pushed back in the court and we only want to hit into zone 2, the rally zone. That's all we want to hit into because we're just trying to keep the ball going and work our way back into the rally, back into hopefully a neutral position. When we can shift up into a neutral position, then we can start targeting a deeper zone, zone number 3, so that we can start dictating a little play, drawing a few errors from our opponents, maybe getting a shorter ball. When we can get a little bit shorter ball, we can step to the baseline or in front of it into an aggressive position. It's a lot easier to hit those deep cross courts from an aggressive position just inside the baseline. That's when we either draw an error from our opponent or pull them out of position. And when we draw that error from our opponent, when they give us a short ball, we approach through the court. When we're on our approach shot, it's easier to hit down the line. It's easier to hit those wide, hard angles, or even to hit these really easy touch zone drop volleys. So in zone number 6, it's very easy from a short position on the court to hit that drop shot, especially if we've pushed our opponent deep in the court before that. And from the approach zone, we like to move up into the finishing zone. And the finishing zone is where things really get fun, and you're hitting your overhead smashes or you're hitting your drop volleys, and the point is done. So that's our hitting positions as we move up into the court from defensive to finishing. That's our target zones. Remember, the friend zone is actually a mistake to hit in a competitive match. We really don't want to put the ball in the friend zone. We really like to be in zones 3, 4, 5, and 6. But those zones are open up depending on where we are. 3, 4, 5, and 6, we only hit from neutral, aggressive, approach, and finishing. In the defensive zone, we just want to rally the ball into zone number 2. So this video gives us a few short fundamental terminology descriptions and definitions so that we can be talking about the same thing on the tennis court in your matches, in your practices, or on the changeovers when we can coach in your matches. So hope this makes great sense. Feel free to ask questions. Obviously, this is just fundamental basics, and there are a lot more options and varieties open up depending on your level of play and your shot making abilities. Hey, hope you're having a blessed day, and I look forward to talking more tennis with you. Shoot me a message at tophertennis.net if you have any questions.